Welcome back, everyone, to Vikings Central. Your host, Steve Hoykla, with Ryan Jones with me tonight. Of course, tonight, it's not a great feeling. We came away from an ugly game with an ugly loss, but we still have to talk about it in the post game. So, welcome to the Vikings Central Postgame Show. Please follow us if you're not already on our social media on X, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. And then, of course, I want to go ahead and thank our sponsors that we have. That's Badass Wood Art. You can receive 15% off when you go to that'sbadasswoodart.com if you use the code VC15. 15% off when you go to that'sbadasswoodart.com. So we're going to go ahead, dive into it. Falcons, Vikings, 22-6. I should say hi, Ryan, being that you jumped on. We haven't had a lot of time to talk or kind of break down the game ourselves, but, initial reaction.
Bad. It was bad. There's a lot of times in an ugly loss, you try to look for silver linings and kind of struggling trying to find those today. You really, really, really just hope that it is JJ McCarthy's welcome to the NFL moment. And from here forward, he sees that this ain't Michigan or IMG Academy anymore. And then from there, you really hope that these injuries are playing a way bigger factor than they really should be. But that's kind of where I stand on it. I will say, what I'm a little bit worried about, and I think rightfully so, is if you go back, you're talking the last 16 NFL quarters. One out of those 16 quarters has Kevin O'Connell looked like a good coach, in my opinion.
Some of the comments that I'm seeing, Overlord Rex, saying that it was very embarrassing. Imagine paying $1,600 to go to your first game just to watch this. Again, it wasn't great for sure. At any time during this, if you have any comments, go ahead and add them to either X, YouTube, or Facebook. Good to see that YouTube comments are working. But make sure that you add those comments. Skull Viking says the Rolling Rocket isn't even diving through tables tonight. R on X says, why does JJ's arm look inaccurate? Lots of really low passes or high ones in the O-line holding up. 50% doesn't work. We'll get into that as well. I agree with you. There's a lot of low passes that we're seeing. The high one that Jalen Naylor was able to catch, the overthrow to Jalen Naylor in the fourth quarter. So there definitely was some inaccuracy that we saw. Jeremy Armstrong says we still have time. He's the youngest quarterback in the lead. Give him in the league, I think is what he meant by that. Give him some grace. I can definitely agree with that. I mean, not every game is going to be a win. There's going to be ups and downs, especially with a rookie quarterback. Well, I shouldn't say a rookie quarterback, but he's a rookie as far as his first starts. Like we talked about last time, we have big expectations for this team, and again, we have a lot of injuries that we had going into the game and also endured some as well. So we'll talk more about that. We're going to jump into the very first piece of that, which is, let's just talk about things that went well first before we get too crazy as far as the different things that we're going to cover with this game. So JJ McCarthy, he had a great throw to Justin Jefferson before the half to set up a field goal before halftime after getting the ball at the Vikings 20 with just 18 seconds left. I thought that was a plus. Well,
Yeah, I mean,
don't worry. We'll talk about the stuff that didn't go well. But
of
as far
course.
as that, everything wasn't going well, but still, we were down. We only had 3 points, and it was 9-3 at that point, and we got the ball back with 25 seconds. Miles Price runs the ball out, which he didn't have a stellar night in the return game. He had that muff at the end of the game as well, but then only leaves us with 18 seconds. But he throws a strike down the field to Justin Jefferson, which sets up Will Reichard, who is still perfect, which is another bright spot as well. And he's able to knock through 3 to put us within 3, 9-6 going into halftime. I thought at least that game, just like the Bears game, he was able to make, in a quick offense, we were able to move the ball down the field.
I mean, there's no question. That was definitely a good throw. I will say the route was an absolute gem. So that helps a lot when your best player is running wide open in the middle of the field and you just got to rip it down a hash. But yeah, you have to make those throws. You just have to. So yeah, it was a good throw, and in a place in a spot where we really, really needed it. So I'll definitely give him that kind of credit. And it was one of the few times where it didn't look like he was going to have someone on his backside or on his lap. So
Owen Kuzman says, look at Jordan Love's first season. JJ needs time to develop. I agree with that. I mean, there's going to be some learning curve mistakes, just like that illegal shift towards the end of the game. He thought he had a free play. He thought the defense jumped off sides. So he throws the ball up, ends in an interception. He doesn't make that throw if he doesn't think it's a free play. But it was an illegal shift on the Vikings. Therefore, that play and the interception stands.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, he's going to learn from.
For sure. I mean, there's no question about it. He's flashed, but he looks like a first-year starter in the NFL. And I don't disagree that he does need time to develop like any quarterback. But I guess, how much is the question. Like, this roster isn't built to kind of wait years and years for a quarterback. Even 1 or 2 years. Like this, this roster is built for us to win this year. At the end of this year, you're gonna have to pay Grenard. You have to pay, and they're gonna be over the cap to start the season next year. So, you need to draft well. And I think their hope was that Dallas Turner is such a stud that paying Grenard and Van Ginkel wasn't going to be a problem. But I don't know.
Keep sending us your guys' comments. Don't worry, I'm going to get to those. I see them coming through. Just trying to fit them in as it fits with the topic well. We're going to get through some of these things a little bit quicker as far as what went well tonight, because obviously there wasn't a whole lot that went well. We'll delve into those things that we obviously have a lot of criticisms tonight. I thought punter Ryan Wright did a good job tonight, and I've been a very big critic of his, but he was able to pin some kicks as well inside the 20. I thought that was good. Jalen Redmond was good tonight, except for obviously that offsides that he had on that 4th down that we could have, made him kick a field goal and get the ball back and save some time on the clock. But he had run stops. He had 2 TFLs. He had a sack. Other than that, Jalen Redmond was having a good game.
Yeah, no doubt. And, he's been that workhorse kind of. He's got a motor. It's been exciting to see him come up and be effective for this team. Right. What impressed me about him tonight was his hang time. Anytime you're giving your guys 5.2 to 5.8 seconds to run under a ball, with distance, of course, then you're doing well. That's a good thing. And his hang time was top notch today. So definitely give him a lot of credit on that.
We had Jonathan Grenard, Dallas Turner each get a sack tonight. It was good to see that, to them both get a sack. But again, we don't have the end result that we're looking for. But it was good to see him get a sack. And maybe we were too aggressive to some extent to where, that was hurting us maybe a little bit in the run game. But Eric Wilson, he was filling in for Blake Cashman wearing the green dot. I thought maybe Ivan Pace would be doing that, but they gave that to Eric Wilson. And for the most part, I thought he did a decent job in spots. He had that big punch out on Drake London that resulted in a turnover that was recovered by Jackson as well.
Yeah.
The defense managed to prevent the Atlanta Falcons from scoring a touchdown. Okay.
Our defense was great.
Yeah. They made them without scoring a touchdown, except at the end, of course. I wrote this towards the end of the game, and then, of course, we let Algier in.
You can only be put in a situation so many times. It's,
right.
These are another NFL team. Right?
Yes.
And I didn't look at time of possession, but, I can only imagine. And, I thought Wilson was admirable. There were times where I felt like he was filling the wrong gap and getting second leveled. And, that's how we saw there. I mean, they ran all over us on the ground. There was lanes everywhere for Bijan and Algier. And I thought Dallas Turner did a fairly good job today from what I noticed. I'll be curious to see kind of what the grades come out at for Wilson and Turner, because there was one play where Dallas Turner, I didn't know what he's doing, but like Algier turned a corner and it looked like Turner should have been upfield setting an edge, and it was like he was trying to catch a block that was already being occupied by someone else. So that was interesting to me. But other than that, you're going to have a couple bad plays every game. So. But other than that, I thought that Dallas Turner flashed and looked good. I mean, the whole defense, for missing your starting safety, starting corner, starting linebacker, I thought the defense played very well. You can only ask those guys to do so much.
I did fix that graphic because it was really bugging me. We did end up going and allowing them to score that touchdown. So again, we made them settle for 5 field goals. But yeah, end of the game, we allow them. I thought we were going to get that field goal. Then we jump off sides, and we let Algier walk in because we're trying to, give ourselves a chance with the time that we had left.
Time of possession, just because we were talking about it.
Yeah.
36-32 for Atlanta, 23-28 for Minnesota.
This was definitely a game that we had the opportunity to be in to win. Our defense did enough for us to have a chance to win in this game.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is costly turnovers, not being able to execute really on the chances and the opportunities that we had. JJ, again, let's just say he doesn't overthrow Naylor and he hits Naylor on that fourth quarter pass. This is a totally different ball game.
You can't miss that ball, man.
That totally would have got
those
us
opportunities.
Right back into it.
Those opportunities are few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking a 3rd and 1 with your team with, everything that would go your way, and you got the look that you wanted, and you knew pre-snap where you were going, and then you got time to throw the ball, and you sailed it. Oh, that's tough. I hate, that's not a pass you would often see very few quarterbacks in the NFL sail.
Right. I am going to go ahead and give a quick shout out before we get into the things that didn't go well. Shout out to SeatGeek. Use code Vikings Central and get $20 off any $50 or more purchase. That code is eligible for all SeatGeek tickets. So make sure that you go to SeatGeek.com, use our code Vikings Central for any concerts, NFL games that you have coming up. That's one of the ways that you can help support us. Again, SeatGeek, code Vikings Central. All right, jumping into the things that didn't go well. It was like watching the Bears game to me to an extent, because again, we went through like 3 quarters to where we just couldn't get it going. Mm-hmm. JJ didn't have time in the pocket. Backup Justin School was getting beat often, and we ended up having some players get hurt, and I'll talk about that a little bit too. But as far as like JJ, like we couldn't get the momentum going. We started with 2 straight 3-and-outs. You had scripted plays, and like that's what we scripted. We go for it on a 4th and 1. We bobbled the snap. We'll talk about a lot of this in here. I'm going to get to some of these comments that we had in here. Yeah. One of the things that I saw, because we got a lot of comments coming in. It's weird how we have a lot more comments coming in after a loss than what we do after the win. Nate says, when's the soonest that we could see Wentz put in? I don't even want to talk about that yet.
No, it's
again,
way too not, I mean, that's not the – yeah. They look, if they weren't going to go with McCarthy through and through and let him either learn it and figure it out or find out exactly who he is, and then we know, then they would have made the offer to Daniel Jones that is, you can't even, like, you wouldn't be able to turn it down. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we see Wentz ever. I mean, it would have to be an injury.
I think I maybe hit this one already.
Yep.
Look at Jordan Loves. He needs time. Bang says, are we going to blame this on absences? Are the Falcons all that? No, I don't think the Falcons are all that. I think Bijan Robinson is a very good player in this league.
They got a lot of young talent on defense.
They do. Yeah,
I mean, a lot of guys.
but at the same time, like, I mean, we had 2 big injuries on the offensive line, and our offensive line is causing 2 things. It's not allowing JJ McCarthy a whole lot of time back there to where he's getting hit. He's getting pressured a lot, taking sacks. It's killing drives. Can't put this all on the offensive line. But at the same time, the offensive line is part of the blocking scheme in the run game too. In our running game tonight, not very effective. Jordan Mason, 9 carries for 30 yards, and Aaron Jones, 5 carries for 23 yards. That's you're not going to win a whole lot of games with that kind of production.
No, and they were stacking the box. I mean, there's no question. They were, we're going to make JJ beat us. We're going to give them a ton of different looks. They were shifting, they were moving. There was a lot of, but all we heard all offseason was how great it was playing against Brian Flores' defense and how it's going to help him be able to recognize exotics and looks that he may not otherwise. And
right.
I mean, if he saw the looks, he wasn't able to execute. So.
Yeah, Braden says going to be here all night if we're talking about what didn't go well. Nice. I hear you. Going to be a long season if we're relying on Will Reichard. And awesome. I get you. Will's been great. Will Reichard's been a bright spot, but I agree with you. We got to be able to convert some touchdowns as well. So we need to have that momentum, be able to, execute when we get in the red zone for sure. Skull Fan says O-line decimated, but need to have a better play calling from KOC. I can agree with that. Brett had made the comment on X, about KOC maybe not doing a whole lot of favors for JJ McCarthy early at least in this game.
I like what?
Yeah, make adjustments.
I don't know what can he do? What adjustments? I mean, you have the plays that you have, like whatever the playbook is. That's the plays. Well,
I just think I think what he's talking about, make adjustments around your weaknesses. What I think he's saying is, maybe make some calls that if he's not going to have.
When your weakness is the person throwing the football,
well. I think some of that too, but
and it's going to be really difficult.
And
I'm not saying he's going to be a weakness forever, but right now there's no question through 8 quarters of NFL football, he's been the weakness for 7 quarters.
Well, see, our weakness as well was our left side of the line. We were getting beat heavily on that left side, so put Oliver over there and have Oliver help him out on that left side of the line. I was saying that on X as well too. Help him out a little bit. It just
makes it easier to bracket Justin Jefferson, and then we're just going to complain that he didn't get the ball to Jefferson enough. It's like you're putting in max protection. You only got 2 people running routes. Like, it's pretty easy to defend that.
if Oliver's doing some bump coverage where he's at least laying a hit on that defensive end and helping out on so it's not as much of just hey,
Right.
it's all on you, Justin School. I'm going to give you an extra hit, which maybe allows you an extra second, or hey, they're not getting as many moves to put on you on the inside. That at least helps.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
can
even
see
say
it.
play calling. I'm sure. I mean, I guess there could be better play calling or things that maybe they could do. And Oliver was over there though for a significant amount of time, or TJ, or Jordan Mason, or Aaron Jones was coming up and bumping the ends. It's just you're putting running backs, tight ends against these guys, and who are very, very talented edge rushers anyway. Like they can beat those guys too. So, but then more than anything, I was disappointed more so in KOC's decision making than necessarily play calling. Really like not going for it on 4th and 1 deep inside your own. Like, if you punt that ball away, the chances of winning drop drastically. And it's 1 yard. Like, you have to be able to get 1 yard there. You just have to be.
Me's comment, why do we never run quick routes? Everything is a long developing play, and our offensive line was not holding up. KOC needs to switch up the game plan to get JJ in a groove.
It's not true. We run quick routes all the time. We
I
run
think
quick outs and slants, and if they're sitting on them, then you have to run longer developing routes.
yeah, it is possible that those routes are there and just either they're not open or maybe
He
JJ's
missed a
not getting
couple.
to it. Yeah,
But you
maybe
saw like
JJ's not
TJ
getting to it.
Hawkinson was blanketed on the one that we thought was intercepted, but ended up hitting the ground. Like, that was a quick route to try to get a win on a 3rd down. That we ended up having to punt because of it. But that's a perfect example. Like they do run quick routes. It's just if they know that they're going to get their pass rush there, you sit on quick routes and you're like, all right, go ahead and try to block us long enough, and you can throw it over top maybe, but your brand new quarterback is going to have to be accurate because it's a deeper pass, and you're going to have to give them the time to do it.
So we had multiple fumbled snaps going off, and we also had some weird handoff transitions where it looked like JJ McCarthy had to run a long ways and then reach out to try to get the handoff to like a Jordan Mason. And that was even before Ryan Kelly got hurt and was replaced by Michael Jurgens. So I'm not sure exactly what was going on there, but somehow we need to fix that. That cost us that 4th and 1. If we don't fumble the handoff, maybe we convert that 4th and 1. I'm not sure. But even that second 4th and 1 where we did that QB sneak, man, that was questionable. If that last little lean over, JJ was able to get it, but initially he was stopped. So somehow we need to get some of that figured out and work on that.
Some of those long developing handoffs was outside zone, and there a slight stutter step, I think, by the quarterback, which makes it a sprint to get out to that running back just based on the line that he's taking. Also, you got to go back and watch it, and maybe he's taking too aggressive of a line and needs to be a little bit more inside. So that could be either one of those two things, but it's easily fixable. So the fumbled snaps, the one that hit the ground that he picked up, and I thought he was going to throw a touchdown there, which would have been sick. But that was one. And then the other that he almost dropped, one that Aaron Jones kind of nudged as he ran by him in the backfield. So I don't know, but and then changing up your center from one of the better centers in the NFL to a backup, there's always going to be some QB center exchange problems that you got to work through.
This is just kind of maybe a me question that I'm putting out there, and go ahead and comment if it, on what you think. But does JJ throw the ball just maybe too hard at times? It seems like, maybe that's some of the cause of low throws where he's just trying to rifle it in there too fast, and it's causing him to go a little bit low. missing his open receivers. But I mean, is he trying to rifle it in there a little bit too quick? And then seemingly when he does that, and we saw, whether it be Thielen or whether it be TJ Hawkinson or even JJ, he's throwing that ball and they have good hands, but they're having some difficulty, and it's not always placement of the ball, but is it just maybe he throws a hard ball and it's hard to catch at times.
Well, I think you're seeing a little bit of the effects of Justin Jefferson not playing all of preseason. So I think that's part of it. You got to get used to the ball coming out of your quarterback's hand. It's totally different. And as far as the lower throws, I know the one he got stepped on. And then I don't know. I got to go back and watch, because sometimes you're throwing it low on purpose to try to, protect
sure.
the guy.
But I mean, then he's also, he's got some power behind that.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
That makes it more
the Naylor throw,
depending on the angle.
The Naylor throw, my least favorite person in the world, Chris Collinsworth said it pretty perfectly, is that just has to be higher loft.
Yeah.
You got to throw that Russell Wilson ball, just a moon ball. But so yeah, he cockbacked him through that one too hard, because I mean, if you're overthrowing Jalen Naylor, who's one of the faster guys in the NFL,
when his nickname is,
you got a little
Speedy.
too much gas. Yeah, his name's Speedy, and you overthrew him. It's like, yeah, you put a little too much gas on that. And that
we should really give Naylor some props too tonight. I mean, yeah, he only had 3 catches for 31 yards, but a couple of the balls that he caught were some tough catches, and he showed that, hey,
well, I mean, yeah, he was
got some hands,
so much.
Right? I can catch.
Yeah,
he was getting some stone hands type thing in practice. Yeah,
in preseason, and catching a lot of flack from people, but I don't know. He looked like a good number 3 wide receiver the last couple of years. I don't know why suddenly we were like, we got to move off him. So anyway. Yeah, I liked how he looked good. Yeah.
Yeah, Bang says, I hope Addison can bring a spark. We got to wait until week 4. Obviously, he had a lot of chemistry with JJ McCarthy, and hopefully he can.
I mean, absolutely. When you get those 2 guys on the field, it's gonna make a hell of a lot of difference. And look, it's a really crappy loss. I mean, there wasn't a lot to hang your hat on, but when your O-line is already on their 3rd left tackle, and now you're out of center, and you're missing your number 2 wide receiver. Yeah, I mean, you don't panic, because you're like, we're getting guys back. Like, let's just hang back and see. But at the same time, it is NFL, and you're gonna always be missing guys. Like, it's just a matter of fact. Like, injuries happen in the NFL constantly, so you got to make sure that that whoever you got in replacing them can be viable, and you don't have to, like, if you have to start scheming your entire game plan because you have such a weakness on one side of the ball, it's going to take the opposing coach about 14 seconds to realize that, and then it's really easy to attack from there.
I got some more offense questions. We're going to run through some of these really quick. Fat Killa, everything looked like garbage. Again, we're going to run through some of these quickly. Family Man said it was a disaster. What happened to play action? Get McCarthy moving. We hear in some of those that he did get moving on play action. He made some good plays. He even got out and he had a couple where he ran with the ball, and that was great.
In order for play action to be effective, the running game has to be effective.
Right. Skull fan, make sure to throw. Stop making these long developing plays. Now, he had that comment earlier that your O-line needs to protect longer. I mean, we were definitely having some problems with some of that stuff. So I can see what you're saying in some of that too. Some of it is just we can't see, as he's going through his progressions, is that part of the problem too, to where he's not quick enough getting from his first to second to third, maybe even a 4th read if he has to. And
if dudes are open, it's really hard to put that on the coach.
Right.
Like adjust the play calling to
or
hit
the
those quick
quarterback,
passes.
or
Like,
sorry,
if he's open,
or the receiver.
throw the freaking ball.
Yeah, it's on the quarterback if that's the case. School fan also says Aaron Jones was open all day in flats. Adjust the play call and get those quick hit passes. Now, I will say on some of these screen passes or some of these flat passes to where the running back rolls out and he's open in the flat. We saw some of those where you could tell he was wide open, and JJ is holding the ball a little long and letting the defense react and prep to it. I would like to see if that guy's open, dump that ball off and let your running back try to do something with it. If you wait too long and then dump it off on him, he doesn't have much time to catch the ball, see what's in front of him, and maybe try to make a move and make a guy miss. So I would like to see those come out a little bit quicker.
That could be. I mean, I'm sure that's going to be coachable moments for them. If you're staying on the guy too long, like the progression should be happening within an instant. So if you're still thinking it, like you're too late. You got to throw that. You got to drop that off a lot sooner. It's kind of, I will say, like, what the Bears are trying to do with Caleb, and obviously he hasn't looked good, but they're trying to make every play just one read, two read drop. That's it. We're not going to make you get to your fourth progression. Like, just one, if it's there, rip it. And if not, here's an easy two within the same eyesight. That and then your last one is the always there drop off. So and that's, keep it simple and do that. Yeah.
So as we move on to number 4 on this list, especially early in the game, we struggled in the run defense and could not seem to plug those running lanes and tackle running back Bijan Robinson early. Yes, before his name was pronounced Bijan, and they made it a point during the game to where he wants to be called, because he likes the sound of it, he likes it Bijan now, so now he wants to pronounce Bijan, so it's Bijan Robinson. But we struggled with that, and we had different things in there as far as trying to bring them down. I think we were more successful a little bit later in the game, but again, even Tyler Algier was having some success against us as well too. I'm just going to run through some more of these comments real quick. I know we talked about this a little bit. Miles Price was a letdown tonight. I feel like he was trying to do too much, unlike last week when he was just putting his head down and running. He wasn't very successful tonight, but then also I don't think that our special teams was also giving him maybe some clear lanes. Some of those he was catching the ball and, he was getting hit, pretty quickly to where defenders were getting around our blockers.
The Falcons special teams looked awesome. Like you kind of tip your cap. Like, I think Miles Price did okay, but I don't, the muff at the end of the game, which didn't matter, but hopefully that doesn't happen in the future. But I will say, he was kind of trying to do too much. Like, you don't have to return everyone for a touchdown. Just kind of get upfield and try to give us the best field position you can there. But I really, I tipped my hat overall to the Falcons in this game, because I thought that they overall as a team looked a lot better than people were giving them credit to going into the season. That defense, I think, is going to be pretty solid if they stay healthy. Now, I know they lost their top corner, but I think they're going to be a real tough team in the NFC.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much of that was them and how much of that was us. School fan says defense was the only reason it wasn't a blowout by halftime. Only piece that looked good tonight. Defense, they were limiting opportunities that the Falcons had, and they were making them settle for field goals for almost the entire game. Braden Peterson says, happy to see the defense keep us in the game for so long. Need to get some key pieces back. Absolutely agree with that. It'd be nice to see maybe we get Harrison Smith back for our next game. It would be nice to see if we can get a healthy cornerback with Okuda. But we really didn't get burnt in the passing game. What really hurt us was Bijan had 143 yards rushing. That's what hurt us. Michael Penix only had 135 yards passing. Drake London, 49, 3 catches for 49 yards. Like, what was hurting us was Bijan Robinson in that dump off game. That's what was killing us. And then also giving them good field position because we're turning the ball over. So whether it be J.J. McCarthy fumbling the ball or J.J. McCarthy with his 2 interceptions, we're giving them the ball and giving them more opportunities. And then at the same time, if we're having 3 and outs, our defense, I kind of have it there at the bottom on there too, but 3 and outs, too many. We made our defense apply for citizenship on the field. They were out there all night.
It's a formula for disaster, and you saw it. Yeah, you got to be able to, even if you have to punt, or you're punting from, the 45-yard line, like at least run some time off the clock. Like, and it was just really, and that's where, if you want to criticize situational football and Kevin O'Connell's play calling, I think that's more so where you go, it's hey, like, I know you don't want to run the ball on 2nd and 8, but run the ball on 2nd and
8. So, Matt says defense had a lot of injuries on all levels. I'm not worried about defense. It's our QB. That effing sucks. Matt says what hurt us was our QB. LOL.
I'm not arguing with that. I said it. He was not good today. There's no beating around the bush, and it's just a matter of really what it boils down to. And this is what you're going to see. This is going to be the discourse online. I can tell you right now, it's going to be give him some grace. He's a first-year starter, or it's going to be you guys prop this guy up like he was the second coming, and now he's just an average quarterback, maybe even worse. Like, what are we doing here? And I don't know, and no one knows, but I did hope after last week and the momentum he built in the fourth quarter that we would see significant improvement throughout the game, and we didn't. Now, he just had a kid. You don't want to think that stuff outside got brought inside, but that's it's going to affect you. You miss practice time, and
that was just one day, and then he was back in it though. I mean, I just think
that's a lot for a first year starter. Like, you missed practice. These are short week already.
But execution tonight was it just, I don't want to give him a pass at all. Execution tonight was not good. But we did have some other things that contributed, but, such as, being a sieve on the left side of the line, that doesn't help. But again, missed throws, inaccuracy, turnovers, whether it be a fumble the ball, which, you can say kind of on him, but then also he's got somebody on him, right away. So that's
I'd be curious
kind of
to know if that
two-sided.
I'd be curious to know if that was, him not sliding the protection the right way or the O-line mistake. And I don't know that we're ever going to find out because they don't really talk about it like that. But it'd be curious to know anyway.
Family Man 25 says so much went wrong. Injuries, couldn't block. JJ McCarthy has to hit the throws. He has. Naylor touchdown if he hits that throw. Defense seems uninspired. I would somewhat disagree with the uninspired. At the end of the third quarter, like, we really turned it up. We got some sacks, and where Metellus comes in and deflects the ball away on a pass on third down. And then it kind of seemed like, hey, we got some momentum here. Are we going to see a repeat of the Bears game? And now we're pumped up, and we're making plays on defense. Is our offense now going to respond? But then, of course, JJ comes in, and we ultimately have that fumble that gives them the ball already in field goal range, and that really kind of we lost some of that momentum and energy that we had going into the fourth quarter. Now, talking about injuries, man, I mean, so we had injuries going into this game already. Hopefully we see Darisaw back next week. Hopefully we get Harrison Smith back. We got Jeff Okuda that's out. We have Andrew Van Ginkel that's out. Those are some big names. Now, we also had Ryan Kelly go out with a concussion. Does that keep him out for an additional game? Just like it did with Van Ginkel. Aaron Jones ended up tweaking an injury. I can't remember exactly what his injury was on the sideline, if it was an ankle. But Aaron Jones went out with an injury. And then, of course, Justin School, we saw him limping off, and Walter Rouse come in.
And Gabe Murphy got hurt too.
Was it Gabe Murphy that got hurt? I thought there was another one that I missed when I was writing some down, and I didn't see that one. I don't know if was it a bad injury, or did you hear of what it was?
I didn't hear what it was. I know it took him a minute to get off the field, so I don't think it was good. But yeah, I mean, the Ryan Kelly, it was concussion. I think Van Ginkel, his was concussion too, right?
Yes. Yeah. So but
that
ended up keeping him out of this game.
I know. Well, I know it was a short week. It's hard to get through concussion protocol on a short week, no matter what. So I don't know, man. I think Ryan Kelly probably be all right. I think Van Ginkel will be back next week. Okuda, he had a concussion too, right? Yeah.
I'll have to go with that because I don't have it right in front of me.
I'm almost positive he was concussion too. So yeah, and again, it's hard to get through the protocol in a short week.
Now, and we can talk a little bit more about this. And again, keep sending your comments if you have more on this. We talked about the pressure on JJ. There was the Atlanta Falcons had 5 sacks in the first half on JJ McCarthy. That's significant. So coming away from this game, Ryan, what do you think we need to do during our week's preparation? What do you think we need to do to kind of prepare, kind of fix some of these mistakes to make sure that we have a better focus maybe going into our next week's game? Because we face Trey Hendrickson's come to town.
Yeah.
We're going to be facing the Cincinnati Bengals in that offense. Now, Joe Burrow goes down. But we've also seen Jake Browning come in and be successfully through a 42-yard pass to T. Higgins after he came in for Joe Burrow. So he is a capable quarterback. And actually, last time that happened, I believe Jake Browning played the Minnesota Vikings, and he beat us last time that happened. So could have another matchup with Jake Browning.
Was that a Nick Mullins game? No, that was early season Kirk. Yeah, but yeah, Jake Browning, tore us up. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen again now that, we have all the tape on him. We should be all right. And Trey Hendrickson's about the only thing on that defense that really scares you. So, but the biggest thing I want to see is kind of like fundamental stuff, just keeping it simple. Like, I want to clear up mistakes, false starts, jumping off sides, the snap, the little things, like more holding calls or, that delayed game call that pushed him back from the goal line. Like, that's so impactful in a game like that. And that ended up with 3 points when it 100% should have been 7. So anyway, those are the mistakes I want to see cleaned up more than anything. I do think McCarthy will be all right. I think that you're going to see flashes, especially through the first, probably halfway through the season. And then he'll really start to put it together, because at some point you get to the point where no defense can give him any looks he hasn't seen anymore. Eventually you get to that where you've seen all the looks and you kind of know what they're going to be doing. And then there's enough tape out there. Right now he's getting all these crazy, you want to play a first-year starter at the beginning of the season, because you could throw stuff at him and he'll have no idea what's happening. And we're seeing a little bit of that. And, Michael Penix saw it today too. he saw the Vikings store looks at him. He didn't know what was going on, and we definitely did it to Caleb last week. So anyway, it's a long season. We get guys back, we'll be all right.
So I already brought it up onto the screen, so you might have saw it already. We do have a new segment that's brought to you by one of our sponsors. That's Badass Wood Art, and that, of course, is our badass player of the game. And of course, we would like to see this be a little bit more badass with a victory. So unfortunately, we're unveiling this on a loss, 22-6. But our first ever badass player of the game. That goes to Jalen Redmond on the defense. 2 TFLs, again, tackles for loss, and he had 1 sack in the game. Other than that offside penalty that he had, I think he played a really good game and really showed why he was trusted when we got rid of Harrison Phillips and traded him off to really be put in that starter role. So great job for Jalen Redmond, even though in a loss. Great job in this game. Keep it up, man. And again, that's Badass Wood Art. Go ahead and check out the stuff. Actually, Luis at That's Badass Wood Art. If you check him out on X, he's actually doing a giveaway right now too, where if you follow him and you retweet, he's got a really nice wood piece with a purple and yellow skull that he's doing a giveaway right now. So go ahead and check him out on X. And again, if you're buying anything from That's Badass Wood Art, make sure you use code VC15 for 15% off at checkout. So congratulations to Jalen Redmond for being our badass player of the game.
He is badass.
And hopefully that continues, and we get to, unveil our badass player of the game. And hopefully it's soon. Hopefully we have a badass offensive player of the game.
It'd be nice.
Is there anything else that you can think of that maybe I didn't bring up on the, what went well, what didn't go well, or maybe some different topics that you wanted to cover from the game?
No, I think it's good to get this out of the way early in the season.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, not every game is going to be a victory. There's a lot sometimes that you can learn from losses like this. Unfortunately, it's not a fun way to learn, but hopefully that kind of lights a fire. Sometimes it motivates a team to come out even stronger in the next week. We're definitely going to need it when we face the Cincinnati Bengals. And again, that game against Cincinnati, that's going to be a home game. It's a 12 o'clock game on CBS. And again, Cincinnati Bengals, they got some big weapons that they're going to bring to town. Yes, they don't have Joe Burrow, but Jake Browning is a very capable quarterback. And, he's going to have Jamar Chase. That's going to be a storyline. T. Higgins. So, Mike Gesicki, and then running back Chase Brown. So they have some offensive weapons. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we all know Trey Hendrickson is going to try to create havoc on the left side of our defense. So hopefully make sure you guys are saying your prayers tonight to make sure that Christian Darrisaw heals up and gets healthy quick because we definitely need him on that left side of the line going into that game. We want to have a healthy offensive line, and I'd like to see us add a couple players back instead of doing this subtraction game that we're doing with our 53 already into week 2. So let's try to get some guys back healthy and make it through that third game. Hopefully we can come away with that with a dub, be 2-1. And then in week 4, we get back a Jordan Addison, which would be a huge boost to us. So again, we have another home game before we go on our 2-game journey that then takes us overseas for 2 weeks in a row against Pittsburgh and Cleveland. So while we're at home, let's go ahead and take advantage of it when Cincinnati comes to town, put some work in practice, try to fix some of these mistakes that we saw, and not only this week, but also versus the Bears. And I think the biggest thing is let's just make sure that, getting healthy is big. But two, we got to do something that's going to fix the chemistry, the momentum of whatever we have going on our offensive side of the ball. So you can't snap your fingers and say, hey, JJ, be more accurate with some of these passes and situations. But obviously there's some work to be done to make sure that, we can have some better momentum and really sustain drives. School Fan says we need a more featured role with Jordan Mason next week to get a run game going so they can open up the passing attack. I agree. I thought it was, and we might unfortunately have to do that because Aaron Jones may be sidelined now. We'll see what that looks like. But Jordan Mason, run the ball. I thought it was interesting that early on we saw, even though with this game it wasn't a huge lopsided, but early on we saw a lot of Aaron Jones in this game, which I thought was interesting, instead of seeing Jordan Mason a lot more. I don't know why that was.
I don't know either, but I feel like we've always kind of questioned why certain running backs are on the field versus others. Like, it's always been a thing with us, but I don't think there's any question if you really look at or watch the game, who's been a better ball carrier for the first 2 games is Jordan Mason. So
sure. I mean, in this ball game, actually, Aaron Jones was more efficient, but again, 9 carries for 30 yards for Jordan Mason, 5 carries for 23 yards. I think a lot of that came on, 2 different carries for Aaron Jones, but still, he was more efficient tonight. I just thought it was interesting. Yeah, I mean, we didn't really establish the run game. You look at that, and we only had 14 attempts in the running game. A lot of that had to do, though, with the situations that we were in. We had a lot of 3 and outs, and we were putting ourselves in 3rd and long situations where running the ball wasn't an option. Yep. So, I mean, that is another part of the problem, so when you're sustaining drives and you're moving the chains and you're going 9 plays for 68 yards type of deal, yeah, there's opportunities to, half of those are probably going to be run plays. But when you're 3 and out, and then, the other team's, going to eat the clock. So,
yeah, I do. I mean, more screen passes. I thought that was going to be a big emphasis. That'd be nice to kind of get the screen game going a little bit, or something creative, or shuttle pass here and there, or something. Even get it, like, I don't know, more design quarterback run. Like, I don't understand why not. But yeah, definitely need to change it up a little bit.
So School Fan says Mason had that big run, get called back on a whole School that was unnecessary. So that actually wasn't School. So School actually got hurt and he limped off, and they brought in Walter Rousey, and I was excited. I was like, hey, quick, let's switch out School for Rousey. I posted that on social media, and of course the very next play, Mason breaks off a huge run, and it's Walter Rouse that has the hold that negated. I don't know. It was a pretty big run. It was at least probably a 20-yard run that he had that he broke off that got brought all the way back. So yeah, I don't. It is what it is. We'll see if Walter Rouse ends up being the better backup, but I don't even want to see that next week. I'm hoping we have Christian Darrisaw back.
Please, for the love of God,
right? let's get.
And healthy. I mean, look, yeah, I also. I don't want the Vikings. I don't think they will. I think the one thing the Vikings are really good at is not rushing anybody back from injury. And so that's definitely not something you want, is you rush them back from injury because you're panicking because your left tackle looked awful in the first 2 games, and then he busts his knee and it's a career ender. So, You got to be careful with that. I get it, but I do hope he's, I hope they give him all clear going into next week, because he'll make such a massive difference on that O-line.
And Squiddy Boy agrees with you. The injuries sure don't help either. Absolutely, I agree with that. I do want to make sure I give a quick shout out to our other sponsor, Homage, and I'm going to go ahead and play a quick ad for them. So Homage Legendary Comfort is on deck. You can, as you can see up in the right corner with their logo, that website, homage.sjv.io/Vikings, is how you can get a quick link to all their Vikings gear, and also use that code, get a percentage off, and also support us here at Vikings Central. Comfortable shirts. I'm actually wearing one of them tonight. I was hoping this would be a lot more popular and a lot more applicable to tonight's performance, but they have several shirts like this. Again, they're nice, comfortable.
Shirt.
Yeah, I mean they're great material. So I have multiple shirts like this. This meter that I have on here for accuracy probably is not correct tonight for JJ McCarthy, but hopefully we get there quicker sooner than later.
I mean, he had that the speed out he threw to Naylor to put them inside the 1 yard line. That was a dot. I mean, he can put it on him. It's just, I don't know, man. He's got to put it together, I guess. But again, it's early.
Absolutely.
We'll try to woo-saw.
If you don't have anything else, I just had another comment come in. Task Force Gamer says, I'm not sure why we Vikings fans auto-blame the O-line for JJ, but we pushed Darnold out of the building after 14-3 when he was also playing with a bad O-line when people were blaming him.
100%.
I think that is a fair assessment. I think the thing was the way that we ended the season wasn't positive. Sam got sacked nine times in that Rams game. There were a lot of those sacks that were not on the offensive line, and it was Sam just holding the ball too long. But yeah, he was in the MVP conversation there as well towards the end of the year. So yeah, Sam had a great year. Now, as far as like pushing him out of the building, I think going into the season, a lot of it had to do with, there was even talk of JJ being better than Darnold in the preseason last year, to where it was legitimately they were looking to still start the season with Darnold. But the question was, how long before JJ got to start? And that was before he got hurt. But then, of course, JJ gets hurt. Sam has a good season, great season, really. And at the end of it, I think just the front office, especially, was really committed, and that was part of the thing with even Kirk leaving. I think the front office was really committed to bringing in a rookie quarterback and really resetting this team in forming this team in a way to where the salary cap isn't tied into a quarterback, so they could surround a young quarterback with a lot of talent like we did this offseason. So we see the potential in doing that. I just think, I think a lot of us, as we know, if JJ does turn into, an above average, type quarterback for, or what we thought we were getting, this team is absolutely primed to make a run.
Yep.
And at least try to make a deep run in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't think we necessarily pushed Darnold out of the building. I just think what he warranted contract-wise was probably was going to be. I mean, if they would have just paid Kirk if that was the route they were going to take. They would have paid the year before if they were like, hey, we want veteran guy. They would have just brought Kirk back, but they had clear vision. It was going to be JJ. It's always going to be JJ. So
in a way, you could say he played his way out of Minnesota.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he 100% did. I mean, the Vikings weren't giving Sam Darnold $100 million. Like, they just weren't.
Mm-hmm.
They need to make this rookie scale contract work for JJ McCarthy and the rest of this roster. Like, the pressure is on him. In my opinion, I'm sorry, but you built the roster. You've had ton of success in the regular season. Like, if if you're putting all the faith into this guy, he better be it.
So I had one other thing I wanted to bring up. I know this is off topic, but it really chaps me. So when we had that goal line drive, and I want to say we were at like the 6-yard line, and they're resetting the ball, and the referee is right behind the setter trying to reset, the line. The clock is ticking, and JJ is trying to get in there so he can avoid a delay of game, and so he can actually hike the ball.
Yeah.
And with like maybe 2 seconds remaining, the referee gets out of the way. JJ steps in. We get a delay of game.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. So the rule is if you make a substitution, then you have to give the defense X amount of time, I forget exactly how many seconds it was, to also make a substitution. So if the play clock's running at that point and you make an offensive substitution, like you kind of got to know that also. So you got kind of
does the ref have to stand right over center to where he can't get in there though?
That's just the rule. Like I would love to blame the ref on that one also, but like the rule is the rule. Like, and if you know the rule as the coach, you don't send in an offensive sub that late and then have to rush to the line of scrimmage and then snap the ball. And also, you had 3 timeouts. Freaking use one.
I can get on board with the timeout conversation, but I mean, I'd like to know more about what happened there, because let's just say that the time that we have to allow them, let's just say that the ref should have moved out of there with, let's just say, even 4 seconds left.
Yeah.
But now that he's trying to get out of the way, that takes maybe a second or two as well too, for him to get out of the way so JJ can get in there.
I'd love to see, because going back and looking at it, like I don't know when the substitution happened, so I'd love to go back and see though, like did he way overextend the time?
And if that's the case, that's on the coaches, that's not on JJ.
Yeah,
I mean, but holy cow, I mean, that was just I don't know if I've ever seen that before, where a team is taking
more than
a
anything
game because the ref's like right underneath censor.
Yeah, use the timeout, man. Like that's what pisses me off on that. I'm like, I mean, the ref's right there, but use a timeout. There's like you're right there inside. You have you're in the red zone. Not something you've seen a lot of the last 2 games. Like, do whatever you possibly can to.
And it wasn't an end goal situation. I think it was maybe like a 2nd and 3 type situation when I think
it was 1st and goal.
I'm not even sure, but I know I absolutely know, like that was a play that absolutely I wrote down.
Yeah.
I put some extra ticks by it, and I know that on social media I was not very happy when that happened. But maybe we'll find out more. Was it the
first field goal or second field goal? It was
I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah, it wasn't the first. It wasn't the first field goal. So here you go.
Because the second was the one before
17-yard pass that was to Naylor. Pushed out of bounds at the Atlanta 2. They're at the 2-yard line, and they got a delay again.
Yeah.
So it was 1st and goal.
All right. Yeah, that's inexcusable. Like you said, call a timeout. So I mean, a double on the coaching staff if that's the case because of the substitution, if that's the rule, and then again, call the timeout. Don't take a delay of game and have a situation where your end goal at the 7 instead of the 2-yard line when you have Jordan Mason on your team.
Exactly. So that's why I was like, wait. And then like you could watching the game, you could audibly hear the crowd booing. I'm like, oh, KOC must have been trying to call a timeout and they didn't see him and they called a delay game. But no, they were booing because the ref was standing over the ball, which
Yeah.
again, I get it, but like
The situation was weird.
Depends what the situation is. Like if the rule is the rule and the ref was in the rights to be there,
Sure.
then it's all on the coaching staff.
Yeah, some wild stuff. So I think we talked about a lot, obviously a lot of things that the Vikings need to, get back to the drawing board, retool, rework, get better. So hopefully we're able to do that going into our game on Sunday with the Cincinnati Bengals, again at home, and get a win and get to 2-1 before we end up going overseas to Europe to play a couple games for back-to-back weeks. So hopefully we see that. Unfortunately, in this post game, I want to thank you guys for joining us, even though in defeat, Vikings end up only starting their home schedule with a loss, losing to the Falcons 22-6. But I want to go ahead and thank all of you for not only tuning in, but then also providing comments during our post-game show. I want to thank as well our sponsors. That's Badass Wood Art, SeatGeek, and of course, Homage. And make sure, again, that you're following, liking, and subscribing to our different social medias and supporting us on X, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. And then also read all of our material and our articles that we put out there on Substack. So we're here to provide you everything purple and give you in-depth analysis all season long. We will have our pregame and postgame just like we do every week all throughout the season when we take on the Cincinnati Bengals. So make sure that you look for that as well. And thank you for joining us. I'm Steve Hoykla. I want to thank you for joining us. He's Ryan. Other than that, thank you again. Skol Vikings. Let's get a win next week against the Bengals and send them packing back to Cincinnati with a loss. Skol Vikings. We'll see you next week.